Welcome to South Africa. If you decide to visit South Africa, you won't regret this decision, since there's a lot of adventures, food, and a beautiful wildlife. You will find all types of animals that you might not see in a regular basis. You will have all types of adventures. You will get to know their culture and their traditions, such as their dressing, as their typical dances, as their food, as their delicious food. If you decide to go to South Africa, it would be a decision you will never
During your
regret.
visit to South Africa, you may enjoy sports like soccer, rugby, and cricket. You can also enjoy watching teams like Mamelodi Sundowns play soccer, the Springboks playing rugby, and the Cape Town Blitz playing cricket.
Population and demographics. Currently, the population in South Africa is about 57.73 million people. Around 17 million are children, taking 28.8% of the population. The youth have around 20.6 million people, taking 35.1% of the population. The adults are around 15.9 million people, taking 27.1% of the population. Last but not least, the elderly are around 5.3 million people, taking 9% of the population.
Government. South Africa is a constitutional democracy with a three-tier system of government and an independent judiciary. The first president to be elected under the new constitution was Nelson Mandela. The current president is Cyril Ramaphosa, who was elected by the National Assembly in 2018.
South Africa occupies the most southern tip of Africa, with its long coastlines stretching more than 3,000 kilometers from the desert of Namibia. This country shares borders with Lesotho, Zimbabwe, Botswana, and, as mentioned before, Namibia. South Africa has three major cities: Cape Town, Durban, and Johannesburg, all of them with more than 2 million people. Although the three major cities may be Cape Town, Durban, and Johannesburg, the three capitals are Pretoria, Cape Town, and Bloemfontein. Africa has 10 official languages. Between them, we can find some like Pedi, Sotho, Swati, and Songa. The 11th official language is English, which is used in the political environment. There are some beautiful things in South Africa, and the architecture of this country is not left out. Prior to British colonization, various indigenous plants were spread across all of South Africa. The Xhosa and Zulu inhabited the southeast region of the country. They lived in small houses called rondables. These circular huts were usually made out of mud and had conical grass roofs. These are some examples of modern rondavels. Regulated architecture was first established by the English settlers in Johannesburg, following the discovery of gold and the annexation of the Boer republics. The first architectural education came in 1905 when the Transvaal University College began offering classes in architecture and building. In South Africa, you can find a wide variety of museums. from cultural, artistic, scientific, or historical interests. One of the most famous museums is the Albany Museum, located in Grahamstown. It is affiliated to the Rhodes University and dates back to 1855. This museum focuses on natural history and geology collections.
Purchase your tracks today.
Along cricket and football, rugby is one of the most widely played sports all over the country. Between the best teams we can find the Blue Bulls, the Golden Lions, and the Western Province Rugby Union.
Now we will talk about the typical food. The first typical food would be the bobotie, that it's minced meat with simmered spices, usually curry powder and dried food, and on top a mixture of eggs and milk, and then it's baked until set. Now we will be talking about the biltong. The biltong is a dry meat that it's usually eaten for snacks. The meat is cured with a mixture of vinegar, salt, sugar, and spices. Up next, we have the boerewors. This is a very traditional South African sausage made from beef mixed with either pork or lamb and a mixture of spices. Now, we will be talking about the typical dancing in South Africa. There are plenty of typical dances to sing in South Africa, but there's one that stands out the most. This one is the Ndlamu dancing. It's most traditionally known as the Zulu dance. This dance involves a lot of singing, clapping, and kicks. Boys and girls perform this dance for transition ceremonies, such as wedding. In the past, they used to perform this before huntings and as well as battles. The Zulu dance is also characterized as the ancient war dance of the Zulu, a warrior nation.
Flag of South Africa. This country is rich in diversity. This diversity is reflected in the country's flag, which consists in 6 different colors: black, gold, green, white, red, and blue. The red, white, and blue come from the flags of the Netherlands and Britain, which ruled over this country. The colors black, green, and gold are from the flag of the African National Congress. National symbols of South Africa. There are 5 different national symbols. First, we have the springbok, which is the national animal of this beautiful country. Then we have the fish called galjoen, which is a common species on South Africa. Then we have the flower, which is called King Protea. Then we have the tree called Real Yellow Wood. And for last, we have the national bird that is called blue crane.
Types of environments. South Africa is a relatively dry country with an average of an annual rainfall. South Africa's climate varies according to the distance from the sea. Hot and cold sea currents. These currents are cold along the Atlantic Ocean and warm along the Indian Ocean. Volcanoes. The Marian Island. The Marian Island is located between the African continental plate and the Antarctic plate. The Marian Island has been volcanically active for 18,000 years. The first historical eruption was recorded in November 1980, when the researchers recorded two new volcanic hills and three lava flows. Even though the Marian Island is such a beautiful place, it has a very rough climate with a normal temperature of 4 degrees and lots of windstorms. Biodiversity. Within an abundance of 9,600 species, South Africa is home of one of the richest fauna biodiversity in the world. But this plant paradise, which also features lots of problems, from fires, agriculture, poaching, illegal filling, and sprawling urbanization. South Africa's government is working to protect the region of the flora and fauna. Besides being a plant paradise, we also have lots of animals, such as rhinos, giraffes, zebras, and lions. But this is also a problem because people really enjoy traveling to these types of countries to hunt these types of animals. And it's a problem because they're in danger of extinction. If we don't stop, these animals will be extinct.
South Africa is a beautiful country with great places and features, such as historical buildings, mountains, and lakes. Some examples of historical buildings are the Nelson Mandela's capture site, the Cradle of Humankind in Maropeng, then the Robben Island in Cape Town, the Afrikaans Language Monument in Paarl, and then we have Isanuana Battlefield. Mountains and islands of South Africa. Some mountains and beautiful islands are the Drakensberg Mountains, the Robberg Island, and the Tables Mountain. These are beautiful places to visit at South Africa. South Africa has beautiful mountains, historical buildings, but also has beautiful lakes. Some beautiful lakes in the country are Lake Crissy, Lake Santa Lucia, Lake Sivaja, and Lake Sikop Ley. All of these beautiful places and features are in South Africa. South Africa is a great place to visit with your family or your friends. Imagine hiking on these beautiful mountains or taking great pictures with these historical buildings at your back.